Hi everyone, welcome back. And if you're new here, my name's Tisdale. I'm a part-time reseller on places like eBay and Poshmark. And today is Wednesday, so we're here for What's Sold Wednesday. The dates that we'll be going over this week are going to be Monday, July 24th through Sunday, July 30th. And on this week, I had a total of 12 sales, and 7 of those were from eBay and 5 were from Poshmark. So eBay is definitely picking back up for me, but let's go ahead and jump into the items. Kicking us off on Monday, July 24th, I had one sale and it was on Poshmark. The item that sold for me was this Lululemon Define jacket, which if you had seen one of my previous thrifts with me, I picked this jacket up and I was really questioning if I wanted to pick it up because it definitely looked like a bit of an older style, but I figured I'd go ahead and test it out, that it should at least hopefully sell pretty quick, which I was correct, and it did sell very fast within 26 days. However, it didn't sell for as much as I thought it would. So if you look at comps for the Define jacket, the comps are kind of all over the place depending on the colorway. But this one I thought would sell closer to 60. However, it only sold for $36. So not as much as I was hoping, but it was definitely a quick turnaround. And I picked it up for only $13.49. And then on Tuesday, July 25th, I had 4 sales and 2 were from eBay and 2 were from Poshmark. I swear sometimes it feels like they compete because I sell the same amount or the same quantity on each platform, which is completely fine with me if they do that every day. Starting off with eBay, the first item to sell was this Misa Shady Blue Floral. I think it was a midi dress. I actually had a couple of these that I got from a case a long time ago. This one took about a year and 2 months to sell, so I've had it for quite some time. Like I said, I picked up a couple of them. I think I have one left after this sale, and I paid $23.69 for each of them after, it was divided out by the quantity. And this one sold for $113.55. And Misa is definitely a brand that I would be on the lookout for. Just be careful with how much you're going to pay for it and the style, because this one's definitely very style based. The dresses tend to do a lot better than the other pieces. And then the next item that sold for me on eBay was this Tiger Beer logo t-shirt I got from the Benz. It literally sold a day shorter than that last Misa dress. One sold in 469 days and one sold 468 days. So I just thought that was kind of funny. But I picked this one up at the Benz, only paying $2.30 for it. I thought it was just a really cool print and I thought about keeping it myself. I just didn't like the fabric. It seemed to be very clingy and attract a lot of lint, which I did put in the listing and is probably why it took so long to sell. But someone eventually wanted it and they paid $12 for it, which after shipping and everything, I'm only making $3.55. So definitely not worth it. But again, I think I picked it up with the mindset of, oh, I'm going to keep this as a pretty cool print. And then on Poshmark, the first item to sell was this Free People French Girl Gold. It was like a sweater dress. And this one did take a long time to sell. I had it for 387 days. So definitely not ideal. I thought it would do a lot better and I thought it would sell more in winter time, but I will take it either way. I picked it up for only $4.25, but it only sold for $24, so not the biggest return, but also not too bad. And then the last item to sell for me on Poshmark on Tuesday was this Lululemon Cadence, I think was the name of it, Cadence Commute Short. It was men's shorts. And I only picked these up for $2. I picked up 2 of the exact same pair. One is gray and one were these black ones. And picked them up at a yard sale for only $2 a little over a month ago. They were only listed for 33 days, which is a fantastic turnaround. I've said it before and I will continue to say it. I love picking up men's Lululemon. It just tends to sell a lot better for me. And these sold for $31. Moving on to Wednesday, July 26th, I had 3 sales and 2 were from eBay and 1 was from Poshmark. The first item to sell for me on eBay were these Young, Fabulous, and Broke Odin beige joggers. This is definitely a brand that I will almost never pick up anymore. If it looks interesting or again substantial, I will check comps. or maybe if it's really cheap, but generally this is a brand I pass on now. It just doesn't seem to perform the way it used to. So these, for example, took 289 days to sell, which is not great. And I picked them up for $7.19, which I would never do now. But I am glad that they finally sold, and they sold for $18.15. And then the last item that sold for me on eBay on Wednesday were these Amy Brown Celestial Fairy ornaments, which they were kind of nostalgic for me because a long time ago, like back in high school, I got this book, like a really thick book of Amy Brown prints from one of my friends, I think for my birthday, and I started drawing them, kind of copying them. And I made one for my grandma, made one for my dad. I just have like all these drawings, and they're not great, but I have all these drawings of these Amy Brown fairies. So when I came across these in the thrift store, I had to pick them up whether someone else bought them or not. And these actually did take 119 days to sell, which I feel like I haven't had them that long, but not too bad. Again, I was picking them up regardless. And I did pay what I would consider paying up for them, because I paid $16.18 for the 3. And if it wasn't for it being like a nostalgic thing for me, I probably wouldn't have paid up for it. But I did get a lot of different emails from people asking if they could get a specific one, which I had thought about going ahead and separating them out. However, one of the people that had sent me an email asking if I could split them up because they just wanted like 1 or 2 of them, sent me an offer for $55 for all 3. And I just figured that was going to be a lot easier to take that. I think I had them listed probably like $75, kind of $25 a piece. But I just figured that was easier to take the $55 versus having to take the listing down, separate the pictures out, put up 3 separate listings, and just the time, that would take. I thought taking the $55 would be great. She seemed to really want them. They just got delivered today, and fingers crossed that they arrived without any kind of damage. I tried to package them as well as I could, and I also got insurance. So hopefully there's no cases open and they just are fine. The total cost plus the shipping, because I do charge for shipping, is $63.40. And then on Poshmark, the item that sold for me was this Free People gray, kind of a space dye sweater. I have had this sweater, it seems like, for 10 years, but I guess it's been only 687 days. So, not 10 years, but still not great. I don't know why I held on to this for so long. I did continuously mark it down, but in my head, if someone sent an offer for $10 or $15, I'm like, this is worth more than that. Don't do that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have let it go eons ago. I did pay $7.06 for it, and it only sold for $17. So Free People was definitely a bread and butter brand that I will continue to pick up. I just don't pick up tops as much, and I'm definitely much more particular about the style and the cost that I'm paying for the item. Then on Thursday, July 27th, I had one sale, and it was on Poshmark. The item that sold for me were these Peloton cycling shoes, which I know cycling shoes could do well. I was a little hesitant to pick these up. I picked them up at a yard sale for $10. I know Peloton isn't doing as well, from what I understand, as it had in the past. These sold super fast in 18 days. So I am glad that I decided to pick these up, even if they were $10, because they sold for $45. So fast turnaround and not a bad profit. And then on Friday, July 28th, I had one sale, and it was on eBay. And the item that sold for me are these Carbon 38 macrame leggings. I would say these are the more popular style of the Carbon 38, or at least what I think of when I think of Carbon 38 leggings. They still seem to be hit or miss, this brand. It sells for a lot, and it used to resell for a little bit more and more consistently. It's just slowed down a little bit, but these were really cute. They were solid black, and then on the back of the leg they had like macrame kind of design. They did take a whole 373 days to sell, and I unfortunately paid up for them at $25.58, which I would not do anymore, just because, again, they don't sell for as much or as quickly as they used to. I did sell these for $46.65. Moving on to Saturday, July 29th, I had one sale and it was on eBay. And the item that sold for me were these green 511 tactical pants. I had them in a thrift with me video not too long ago either. They only took 37 days to sell. And I believe I mentioned when I picked them up in the video that they don't go for a ton, but they usually turn really fast. And they did. 37 days is great. I picked these up for $13.49 and they sold for $36.40. And then on the last day, Sunday, July 30th, I had one sale and again, it was on eBay. And the item that sold for me was kind of surprising. It was an item that is in one of the 200 items that I bought in the cases. If you've been following those videos, I'm not sure if I've gotten to this item yet in the videos, but this one was picked up. It was his Brooks Brother shorts, which Brooks Brothers retails for a ton, does not resell for a ton, and I was really hesitant to even keep these and list them, but glad I did because they sold in 2 days, which is fantastic. I paid $1.90 for it and they sold for $25.84, which is not bad at all. Not a ton of money. Like I said, you know, the resale value for Brooks Brothers is not great, but the turn time in 2 days is fantastic. And so for all 12 items that we sold last week, I have a total sales of $468.99, which is great. It's still on the incline and consistent with how last week was, and just kind of showing the effort and time that we've been putting in to try to grow the business, especially in this season, is working and paying off. So it's fantastic to see. And then after you take out the fees, the shipping, and the cost of goods, my total profit is $222.75. So again, I'm just really glad to see that the time and effort is paying off, and I hope to continue it and hopefully slightly increase it. Once we kind of get the flow going with the things that we've started to implement, we can turn it up a notch, but we just want to make sure that we're consistent and have everything in place running very smoothly before we try to do any other kind of increases. All right, that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope this has been helpful and informative, and I hope your guys' sales are just doing amazing as well. I really want to continue to not only help you guys, but learn from you guys. I know you guys have made some comments in the areas below, which has helped me and I've learned from, and I'm sure people who read them learn. So please feel free to chit chat with each other down there. We can all learn from each other. But thank you guys again, and I'll see you next time.